Well, good morning, YouTube. I'm going to try this again and do another live open forum. As I've said before on these things, I'm not sure if I'm going to do these every day. Honestly, so far, they're more fun to do on TikTok only because on TikTok, I get more engagement. So, obviously, engagement is the name of the game when it comes to having fun with this. Got my coffee. Hopefully you've got some coffee going this morning. I may try to do these horizontal at some point. Right now, vertical. I think the horizontal lives also work in the shorts feed. I think that's where most of these lives tend to live. So, interestingly enough, not sure if I've got any topics. I had some topics. I thought about coming on here yesterday, and I had a couple of topics in mind, but the wife had other plans. She came back from running an errand, and she wanted to go a couple of towns over to a Ollie's store. We have one right down the street, but the Ollie's in Granite City, near where we live, is about twice the size of the one we have here. So it can be just a little bit more fun to walk through. And she wanted to do it, so that's what we did. But we didn't do anything for Valentine's Day. We're not Valentine's Day people. We don't do the Valentine's Day thing or the Sweetest Day thing, none of that stuff. So no cards exchanged, no little teddy bears with hearts on them, no boxes of chocolates. We've just decided that it's a big money grab, so we're not going to participate in that. So we didn't really do much, but I did make some pork and kraut in the crock pot Saturday night. That turned out very good. I always like pork and kraut. It's always good. It's probably the German in me that likes that sort of thing. So we did that, and got a video done on Friday for my other YouTube channel, which posted this morning. So I was happy to get that done, and I got a couple of shorts on my other channel. I finally decided to get a little bit more consistent with it. So that's a work in progress. I'm going to try to get 3 new videos posted a week on that channel, and then maybe about 3 shorts. So see how that kind of goes. But other than that, not much else going on. And no interaction at all on my live open forum this morning. They've all been duds so far, but I just started doing them sometime last week on YouTube, which I understand it takes time to get people kind of lured in. So, but what the live open forum essentially is I talk for a little while until I get some interaction, and people want to ask questions, fun questions, serious questions, silly questions, kind of jump off of that. So I did have some interactions on a couple of the live open forums last couple of times I did them. Certainly that makes it more fun for me. I would assume that also makes it more fun for anybody who might be watching these. So, but so far, you gotta just put it out there for whatever it's worth. So far, TikTok is the place to be when it comes to this format, at least. Quite a bit more successful over there, but then again, I've been doing it over there for much longer than I've been doing it here. So I think the idea of the lives or some of the live streaming, I think it's why they made the threshold 50 subscribers to get into the live streaming on the shorts feeds. I think that they're directly competing with TikTok. It says, morning, Jim. What part of the country are you in? I am in Illinois. the wonderful state of Illinois. But I'm actually from Wisconsin. But I've been in Illinois for going on 12 years. So my wife and I made the leap 12 years ago and just quit our jobs and moved. Started right over. We had family here in Illinois, so that was what kind of fueled that decision. And plus longer summers in Illinois. We're down in the southern part of Illinois, closer to Missouri. We're about 20 minutes from St. Louis, so it's definitely warmer longer, and we definitely get longer summers. So in Wisconsin, you get very, very short summers, very short summers. But there were a lot of reasons that we made the leap. Hello to Moses Muddle. How you doing this morning? But yeah, that was kind of what fueled our decision to do that. It was a bit of a risk to do, but we had a little bit of money that we were able to afford doing that. So that's what we decided to do. Oh, I bet. Yeah. James says he's in Texas and summers are brutal. I would bet they are. Texas is one of those states I haven't been to. I've been to a lot of states, but Texas is one for whatever reason I haven't been to. Maybe my wife and I will get there soon because it's actually not that far away. I mean, I think to get into the state of Texas from here, I think it's 4 or 5 hours. So that's not terrible. And that's about, where we usually like to be if we're just jumping out somewhere for the weekend. We like to go to Paducah, Kentucky quite a bit. Down around Davenport, Iowa is a nice little trip to make. And so trips that are like 4.5 hours away so that, we could just hop in the car over the weekend and just get the hell out of Dodge for a little while. So that's always fun to do. Hello to Coaster Rider. How you doing this morning? I got my coffee. Anybody else got their coffee this morning? These are, for anybody who's just tuning in, I repeat it just because I don't know who's here or who was here. As the title suggests, it's just a live open forum. I do these on TikTok all the time. They do very well there. I just started doing them on YouTube. But it's basically, if just as it states, it's a live open forum. So if people want to ask, silly questions, fun questions, serious questions, I try to answer them and kind of jump off from that. So and sometimes you get some really interesting questions that kind of make them very fun to do. So that's kind of, I figured it was successful enough on TikTok. I figured why not bring it over here to YouTube? I like YouTube's platform a little bit better anyway. So, but it's a work in progress. LJB Edits says hi. Hello back. You make good videos. Keep it up. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. This channel here is a non-serious channel. It's always been a just for fun channel. Mostly when I started doing anything on this channel, it was just basically for friends and family. So I've never really had any serious intent with this channel, which is why I think bringing the live open forum here was, part of my idea, because it doesn't have a niche. And live open forum really doesn't have a niche either. It's whatever anybody wants to talk about. Are you all both retired? I am retired. My wife is still working. And that's by choice on her end, at least for right now. I say retired, but it's semi-retired. There are still things that I do that make money, and I'm not sure that I'm completely out of the work world forever. I'm 52, so there's still some work left in me if but it all depends. I mean, there are a lot of things that are in place that should let us kind of do what we want to do when the time comes, but we'll have to wait and see. Nothing is a guarantee. Trying to make sure if I had any comments, which I've had a couple of comments, which is what these live open forums are all about. And when I do these on TikTok, they generally they can go for 2 hours, sometimes more, depending on interaction. There's usually a lot of interaction, and so it warrants it. Here, I go for as long as it can go. If there's no interaction, then I just jump off and go around, and we'll try it again. Hello to Mimi and Ria. Mimi says, "I'm so sorry." What are you sorry about, Mimi? But yeah, this channel has never been niched down, and I've said that before, but it was always just a Just for Fun channel. So it's an opportunity to kind of share my goofy side, share my music, and obviously the music that I've published. It's an artist channel, or it became an artist channel, so that gets shared. So I have 2 other channels that I run. Those channels are niched down, and they do have an intent and a purpose. So they're very different than this channel. So I tend to be one of those guys. I'm a bit of a polymath, and I've never even in when it comes to incomes and things like that, I've always had multiple streams. I've never relied on one single source. I tend to be all over the internet and have been for a very long time. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Reels. I write blogs, so I've always had a widespread internet presence. So, Mimi says, sorry that no one will join my live. No, that's the nature of the beast, Mimi. The thing about it is that, it's just like when you start off on YouTube, you just post videos, and, you get better at them every time you do them. It takes a long time to build an audience. Some people have, early success. So you just keep at it. Even for these open forum lives that I've started doing on YouTube, I think this is number 5. It takes time. It takes time to build an audience. It takes time for people to get to know what it's about. It takes time for people to kind of get a feel for your personality, decide whether or not they like you or not, to come back or talk to you or play along. So for me, that, look, I understand that success is not an overnight thing, and if people are here, that's great. If people aren't interested, that's also fine. I think there's, I don't remember where I read it, but something like 120 million viewers a day on YouTube. So you're competing for a lot of eyes and a lot of ears. And so it is what it is. I have no disappointment if nobody, comes in or sticks around. Maybe if I can remember your name, I'll have to check out your channel. I like to. I'm always watching videos on YouTube, and I especially like watching new creators. Because there's a lot of interesting stuff out there. Plus, not only that, when I'm watching new creators, it seems to tell the algorithm that that's what I want to see. So I get to see more new creators in my feed. There's plenty of time for me to spend with the big creators that have, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but I'm more interested in people, which is part of the reason I like to do these live open forums on TikTok that I've carried over here to YouTube, is because I'm interested in people. I'm interested in people's lives, what they're doing, and then you get a chance to know the people when they start coming around more often, and they're asking questions, and we're having conversations that are based on those. So that's sort of where I think the live open forum comes into play. Plus, I've always said on my TikTok lives that it's for the viewer, right? I mean, especially with a channel like this where it's not niche down, I could pick any topic I'd want to talk about, but it may or may not be of interest to anyone. So sometimes people just have something they want to know. Maybe I can answer it, and it doesn't even have to be a serious question. It could be a fun question or a silly question, and I'm happy to engage it. So, but I appreciate anybody that pops in. And out of the 5 lives that I've done so far, I have had some participation. So, like I said before, it's a slow process, but I'm a patient guy, and these might go 20 minutes. If I get lucky one of the days, hit the YouTube live stream lottery, maybe want to go as long as they generally go on TikTok. So we shall see. But the only thing, like this channel here, I mean, I've got I think 1,480 subscribers. So last time I checked, what I don't have is the watch hours, and that's just because, again, it's not a niche down channel. It's never had real intention behind it. So thought I'd throw that out there. So there is an opportunity for people to, find me and come in and watch. But I don't know if there's a difference between, the way the horizontal lives work and the way the vertical lives work, and if they intersect. So I would assume that if somebody was on my channel poking around or has subscribed to my channel, that they would be offered the feed, would be my assumption. But I don't know that for a fact, because YouTube is on the short side anyway. It's trying to be more TikTok-like in the delivery of content, the way it's going, which makes sense because TikTok is still a very large platform, not anywhere near the size of YouTube. So YouTube certainly has the advantage. And I also think that YouTube polices its site overall better than TikTok does. It's a better site. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. It's a better site. But that's just my 2 cents on that one. I was gonna tell a joke on this live. It's an old joke, but I was gonna tell it. But if there's only 2 people here, it doesn't necessarily make sense, even though I'll get a video on demand out of it after the live is done. Somebody else might get it. Your video got 17,000 views. I don't have many videos that have views like it. In fact, very, very few. On this channel, I do have a video that was a tutorial, how to rethread a Works weed whacker feed line, and that one has almost 50,000 views. So it would have been great if I'd have been monetized and been able to get something for that. I might have got $10 or something. I don't know. But that one was one that, and even when I did the video, it was kind of a joke in my mind. So I'm like, who doesn't know how to rethread a, feed line into a weed whacker spool? But apparently 50,000 people don't know how. So it turned out to be one of my best performing videos on a non-niched, non-serious channel. So I thought that was kind of amazing. But yeah, if you can get, it's so hard to get eyeballs, and especially starting out on YouTube. My other 2 channels are younger than this channel, and it's hard. It's hard. I mean, whoever says to you that it's easy, or that YouTube is an easy mode, what it comes down to at the end of the day, what makes a successful YouTuber it really does come down to the basics. It's talent, it's the quality of the content, it's the delivery, it's the personality. All those things are going to determine whether or not somebody is successful on YouTube. A lot of the stuff that the gurus put out, change this setting, do this, post this many times, post at this time of the day, and all that is really mostly garbage, I think. And people will watch it and people will follow it basically because everybody's looking for the Holy Grail, right? Everybody's trying to find that secret sauce, that secret formula that's going to get them to the finish line faster. And I think the reality is that there's only one way to the finish line. That's just be yourself, be original, be unique, be different enough that people will be interested in you. And that's what will make you successful. And there's, the gurus don't have, much. If your video gets 12 million views, then you can win $10,000. Well, that'd be nice. That'd be nice to be able to make $10,000 doing anything really. Of course, the way that the payouts work from AdSense anyway, it all depends on what your niche is. It depends on what the videos are about. It determines what your CPM is and things like that. So right now my Springboard channel is basically, I'm niching it down more. I was doing some financial stuff because I'm in the stock market. So, for me, talking about stocks and things like that is not outside of my wheelhouse. But I'm niching it more down into conservative politics. So what the CPM will be for conservative politics, if that channel ever gets to the point where it would be monetized, is questionable. But I don't do it necessarily for the money. I do it because I enjoy the topic. And to me, that's more important than anything. A picture of me is when I was a baby. Yeah, on my screen here, it's so tiny I can't really even see it. So maybe after I jump out of my live, I'm going to check you out. I'll be able to see it better on this because I'm working off my phone, so I don't. It's hard enough for me to see the words, let alone see the pictures that are associated with the profile pictures. Trust says what? What? I don't know. There's a question there in there somewhere, but he didn't finish typing it out. I'm assuming he's probably asking, what is this live stream about? That may be what he's asking, which I'd be happy to answer, but he's got to answer it. Oh, he says, I don't know. Is that what you're asking, what the live stream is about? Basically, Trust, what it is it is a live open forum. I do these on TikTok, and I've been doing them on TikTok for a while, and they're actually quite successful. I could be on here for 2+ hours when I'm doing these on TikTok, but it's an open forum. I leave it to the viewers to decide what they want to talk about. I do that because this channel is not seriously intended or niche down, and they're fun for me to do. So if people have fun questions, silly questions, serious questions, then I try to answer them, and then hopefully that engages a interaction or a conversation that drives the live forward. So that's kind of what the idea is here. And they've done well enough on TikTok that I thought, well, YouTube is getting more like TikTok in that regard on the live streams and the short feeds anyway. So maybe it would translate well here as well. So that's to be seen, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'll keep doing them either way. I have nothing to lose by doing them. So my thing is, why not? What is your favorite car brand? I guess that would be Ford. I've been a Ford guy for a very long time. Ford trucks, the F-150s. I'm looking to upgrade to an F-250. That'll be my next truck because we've got a 39-foot camper that we pull, and my truck does just fine pulling it, but I'd like something a little bit beefier to pull it, and plus having diesel as opposed to gas would be easier for getting fueled up when you're 60 foot long between truck and camper. It gets difficult on a 150-mile range. I've actually got 200 miles, but 150 is when I want to start looking for a gas station. You can only get into certain gas stations. So at least if I had diesel, I could just pull the whole rig into the, truck stops where the trucks fill and be in and out. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Mimi, I don't know. I'm assuming that most of my subs came from my music. That would be my guess. Hopefully it's because people enjoy some of my videos. They don't get a lot of views on this channel anyway. But for whatever reason, there were that many people that decided to sub, and I always appreciate it. Despite being over my 1,000 subscribers on this channel, I've never been able to monetize it. It was never the goal to monetize it. But so I've got the subscribers. I don't have the watch hours. Maybe that'll change at some point in the future. Or like what you want in the future. As far as future cars or vehicles, Trust, I'm assuming you're asking. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Mimi. I mean, like I said, I've been doing content creation for decades, in different formats, obviously. I mean, YouTube is one format. I've been writing blogs for, 30 plus years, and have a very good following there. But, the video format has been different for me. On my other channel, I found a way to without an actual teleprompter, to use a teleprompter site and position my camera in a way that I can actually read off the teleprompter, and it doesn't look like I'm looking off into space. So it's been a work in progress. Anything that you wish or like, something like that. I wish for a lot of things. I'm not a big dreamer, in the sense that I've always believed that the only way that you accomplish anything in life is by doing. So even like when I talk about goals versus objectives, I don't generally like the word goal. And the reason for that is because a goal has no end. It has no pathway. A goal is just a dream, a thought, a desire, a want. An objective is something that turns that goal potentially into a reality. So, once I say, okay, I want this, that's my goal. The objective is what allows me to actually come up with a plan to achieve that thing or get that thing. So if I say I have a goal to have $1 million in the bank, that's a dream, that's a desire, that's a want. It doesn't mean anything. But as soon as I say I want to have $1 million in the bank, and this is step by step how I'm going to do that and achieve it by this time, then I've got something in place that I can actually work off of and accomplish what it is I want to accomplish. After this, when are you going to go live again? I've been doing these pretty much in the mornings, and I've been only doing one a day. And then they've only been going as long as they've been going. Now, this one here is going a little bit longer because I've actually got some interaction, which is good. And that's my objective. There's that word again. But there is no set time. I mean, generally, I kind of think I don't want to oversaturate either. So I think, coming on here maybe once a day is sufficient. And maybe every day, if I spend 20 minutes to an hour doing it, I think that would be enough. I mean, it may become more if at some point there's more interest as it builds. This is only number 5. So if there's an audience that actually develops at some point, then sure, I would do it. It's a lot of fun to do. and I enjoy the interactions with the people. That means good life lesson. I'm assuming you're referring to your name, Trust the Lord, means a good life lesson. I'm not a very religious guy, but I absolutely have nothing against religion, and I think it's all good to have faith and believe in something and have something to, help guide through life. And I think some people, and you may disagree with this, and that's fine. I think some people rely too much on that. You really gotta do things on your own. There's actually a joke there. I'll tell you that joke if you want to hear it. That kind of suggests, well, God can't do it all for you. You got to do things on your own. It's actually a pretty funny joke. So I'll tell it if you want me to tell it. If I can remember it. It's been a while since I told it. Keep it all together, not screw it up. But yeah, these are just fun to do, and so that's what I like. So this guy goes to the altar, and he looks up at Jesus, and he says, Lord, he says, I just want to win the lottery. I've spread the word. I've continued to spread the word, and if I win the lottery, I'll do great things, with the money. I just want to win the lottery. So then all of a sudden a bright light shines and a booming voice comes out. My son, you will win the lottery. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I won't do you wrong. I'll do good. I'll make it, I'll make it good. Thank you. He leaves the church and he goes home, and a couple days goes by, nothing. A couple more days goes by, he's not so much as found a penny on the ground, nothing. I mean, it's just nothing. 2 weeks goes by and he's confused, he's perplexed. I mean, the Lord told me I would win the lottery. I haven't so much as found a penny on the ground. What's going on? So he goes back to the altar, looks up at Jesus. He says, Lord, he says, I'm confused. I don't understand. He said, you told me I would win the lottery, and yet I haven't so much as found a penny on the ground. Light comes back. The booming voice comes on and says, buy a lottery ticket. It's a dumb joke, but there's a message in there, I think, that is pretty poignant, and that is that you can ask the Lord for anything. At the end of the day, he's going to give you the wisdom, he's going to give you the wherewithal, he's going to give you the tools, but he's not going to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. So I always like that one because it's funny and it's motivational at the same time. So I'm glad you liked it. Mimi said that was funny. Or no, that was Truth said that. Yeah, I've always liked that one, like I said, because it's a joke with a message, and yeah, that's a fun one. I've told that joke probably 1,000,000 times. It's always a fun one to tell. I mean, even in my own life, I'm a self-taught person in most things. So if I have an interest in knowing something or learning something, I mean, there's books, there's websites, obviously YouTube. You can pretty much learn anything that you want to learn nowadays, especially nowadays. But even when it came to guitar, I taught myself how to play guitar. Although it was very different back then because you didn't have the internet. So, you had to rely on books. The problem with that was you also had to rely on, if there was a song that you wanted to learn, the books weren't going to tell you melodically how it would sound or how long the notes would extend for or not. So you had to listen to the music and then follow along with the tablature and figure all those things out. Figure out on your own. Oh, should I use my forefinger, middle finger? What finger should go on what string when I'm fretting? You got to figure all that out on your own. Now you just go to YouTube and it's all right there at your fingertips. And I love using it for that. If there's a song that I want to learn how to play that I'm not quite sure about a certain part, pull it up on YouTube and there you go. Mimi says, I am in galactic. I'm not sure what that means. I'm in galactic. Well, I do appreciate, there's a couple people, and that's all it takes is a couple of people. It makes it more fun for me to do these live open forums. Says a daily Bible verse, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's a good quote. It's a good quote. There's a lot of Bible quotes that I do like. Like I said, I'm not a religious man, but there is a lot of philosophy and wisdom in the teachings, and that's undeniable. And it's all good information. It's all good stuff. There's nothing in there that's, regardless of whether you believe or not, the messages are solid. The messages are good. It's all, to me, common sense, which sometimes is not so common, but that's my 2 cents on that. My coffee is getting cold. I need to refresh my coffee. See, when I'm on TikTok lives, walking away to refresh my cup is something I do all the time, but it's a different beast. I don't know if that's an appropriate thing to do on my YouTube live. The coffee pot's right over there, though. It's not like I'd be gone for a long time, and there's only 2 people that are watching, so. W live stream or with live stream. The W means something. Somebody told me on TikTok what it means, but I forget what that means. One thing I will say that does kind of surprise me a little bit is that, so obviously when we do these live streams on YouTube, it turns into a video on demand, and it puts that video up. I don't delete them. I don't see any reason to delete them. But what amazes me is that people actually do watch those after the fact. So it would means cool and nice. Thank you. It is, granted, these live open forums, I'm sure will have more content or information as they go along and as more people, interact and come in. So they'll be more interesting to watch, I would suppose, after the fact. And then there might be some people, like there's a lot of people on TikTok that miss my lives because they don't necessarily have a specific time. It'd be nice if they could go back and say, well, maybe I didn't want to interact that day, but maybe I enjoy, the interactions and discussions. They can go back and look at it. TikTok, they can't do that. But on here, they can. Oh, I appreciate that, Truth. Yeah, like I say, I generally do these in the mornings. It's been varied. I think it was between anytime between 8 and 10 in the morning. This one I started a little earlier. But yeah, anytime between 8 and 10 in the morning is generally when I, might pop on here. I haven't decided if I'm going to do them every day. It all depends on what kind of interactions I get. It depends on, if there's any interest, during the live. This one, like I say, is probably one of the best ones so far. Even with just a couple of people in here, it makes a huge difference. And I think what I have found doing these is that, people have fun with them. because it's a free for all. It's whatever anybody wants it to be. Says, oh, okay, because I usually wake up at 11, but my little sis just had surgery. Oh man, surgery for what? Hopefully it was a routine surgery, nothing serious. I'm always up. I mean, 5 a.m. to 5:30 usually is when I get up, and that's any day of the week. I've been like that for quite a while now. I never was an early bird when I was younger. I was always a night owl. But somewhere along the line, my timeline shifted, and I became a morning person. I wouldn't say I'm a morning person. I get up in the morning. Let's put it that way. There is a difference, I think. But tonsils. I still have my tonsils. That's one thing I, knock on wood, never had to deal with. I got my wisdom teeth too. They told me how they were going to pull them out, and I said, I'll leave them in until they bother me. So far, they've never bothered me. So I left them in. I wasn't interested in getting them out. It was weird, though, when I got my wisdom teeth in, because I think I was 20. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, gosh, I swear I'm cutting teeth here. And I hadn't really thought much or knew much about wisdom teeth at the time. So I went to the doc on the ship. I said, hey, doc, I said, I think I'm cutting teeth here. I said, I know that sounds ridiculous. He goes, oh, it's probably your wisdom teeth. Oh, okay. Well, what do we do about that? He told me, and I said, okay, we're going to leave them in. Yeah, I know quite a few people that have had that done. I'm not even sure if a tonsil has a purpose. I'm sure it does, but yeah, I'd have to look that one up. I think at one time I did, but I've completely forgotten about it at this point in my life. I know if it's something where somebody can't or has the pain, I think is what I was thinking on those. Most of the time when I hear about somebody having their tonsils removed, usually there's like, they have a sore throat or something going on with that. They swell up or whatever. But I would imagine if something's swelling up around your throat, you're going to have problems breathing as well. What state? Michigan. I'm currently in Illinois. I'm farther southern Illinois, or farther down southern Illinois, about 20 minutes from St. Louis. I actually did live in Michigan when I was a kid, for a short time, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. We lived in Iron Mountain, Michigan. But I was a Navy brat. My dad was retired Navy. He was retired as a senior chief petty officer. He was in for 23 years. So we moved around a lot when we were kids. And of course, I'm a veteran myself. I spent 4 years in the Navy. So we've been to lived in a lot of different places. I've lived in a lot of places in my life, which, a lot of people I know find that strange, because they pretty much, where they were born, that's where they lived their entire lives. And, water, winter, wonderland. Yes, I do remember there being a lot of snow in Michigan. And I still call Wisconsin home, only because I lived there probably the most part of my life. I mean, better than, 25 or 30 years of it. And I remember the winters very, very vividly in Wisconsin. The only part of Wisconsin I didn't like was the winters. I'm not a guy who enjoys winter at all. The more I think about it, if I never see another snowflake in my entire life, I'll be perfectly happy about that. Yeah, I bet. We got a few weeks ago, we got, I think, 9 inches, which for around here is unusual. And we've had a few warm ups, and that snow is finally pretty much gone at this point. You know, you can find a little few patches here and there, but like yesterday, it was almost 60 degrees. We got a couple of days coming up next week where it's going to be potentially in the 70s, which I'm looking very forward to because uh, my my utility bills have been running about $400+ a month, and I'm getting tired of paying that. So if I can shut the heat off for a couple of days and open the windows, let some fresh air in the house, that would make me happy as a lark all day long. Green grass back, yeah. I got seed down, which I put down in the fall because I've got a few patches. I overseed every year in the fall, and it tends to do very well. So I get a nice plush lawn at least for the first good part of the summer. And then as it sort of the old grass dies out a little bit, and then the new grass fills in. So every year I do it, it gets a little bit better. What'd be nice is when we get to the point where, we're back in the summer months. Well, hell, I can go on the back deck and do a live stream from my back deck. Enjoy some nice warm morning sunshine and coffee. Good conversation. I'm looking forward to that. Of course, my neighbors might think I'm kind of crazy. Who the hell is he talking to? Not everybody understands the YouTube thing. I actually did see recently, and I haven't really seen that too much, but I saw some guy walking down the street with a selfie stick, and he was talking. So my assumption is that he was making a YouTube video. I can't do that. I can't be around in public doing. It's not that I don't have confidence. I just don't feel comfortable doing it. So it's not something I see myself doing, even to make a regular video, let alone a live. Yeah, right now they've made it 50 subscribers. They changed it on TikTok as well. On TikTok, when I first started doing lives on TikTok several years ago, you had to have 1,000 subscribers in order to be able to do a live stream. They moved that down to 50, and I don't know what it was for YouTube. It might have been 1,000 here as well, just like the monetization. But I know that they changed it to 50 here. So, and I think that's because they're wanting to encourage more content. But hopefully you can get to that 50 subscribers sooner rather than later. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to go live. It really is. Yeah, it does take time. 1,000 subscribers doesn't seem like a lot, but it really is. To get 1,000 people, it's not hard to get 1,000 people to watch your videos, but it's hard to get 1,000 people to watch your video and then hit the subscribe button. And even when you go around to a lot of the YouTube channels, when people start, talking about their stats and things like that, it's not uncommon for somebody to get, have 50% of the subscribers to views. So they might have, 200,000 views. That might be a bad example, but 200,000 views, but they've only got 100,000 subscribers, because more people are going to watch the videos than will actually take the time or bother or be interested in hitting the subscribe button. But even when you look at YouTube as a whole and how it works, the subscribers are important in the beginning, but over time they're not as important. Even I look at my X, formerly Twitter, and I've got over 4,000 followers. If I post something on X, the likelihood that those 4,000 followers are going to actually see my post is very unlikely. So a lot of times there's a lot of emphasis put on subscribers. Really, at the end of the day, what's important more than anything are the views. The views are the golden ticket, because the views are what are going to, as long as you maintain at least that 1,000 subscribers, the views are what are going to pay the bills, so to speak, if you're monetized, and contribute to your watch hours. And those two things are the only things that matter. And the likelihood that you would get to, say, 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers and all of a sudden drop to 999 is pretty unlikely, especially if you're putting out new content. You're going to still, have a balance of new viewers to old viewers. So max views is 1,071. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get views. I mean, there are a lot of other creators on YouTube, and there's a lot of competition for space and for eyeballs and attention. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult. But I think YouTube, look, it works the same way that anything else is going to work. You got to have content that people want to watch. That's on us as the creators to try to create that content that people want to watch. And, it's not going to be something that's going to be successful for everyone, nor should it probably be. There's only a handful of good basketball players. There's only a handful of rock stars. There's only a handful of, great successful actors. And all of those people get to where they get to because they offer something unique and different or special that attracts a lot of people to it. And, with hundreds of millions of creators that are out there, the expectation that every single one of those creators is going to have a huge following is probably naive or, outside of the realm of the way things work in the real world. So it doesn't surprise me that it's hard, but it is hard. There's no doubt about it. It is tough. Yeah, I got the same problem. On this channel, I again, it's not niche down. There's no serious intent to it. But getting likes and comments, I can get views. And even that's not a lot. But likes or comments are harder to get. The same thing applies. I've got 2 other YouTube channels. Those are more seriously intended and more niche down. And even on those, getting likes or comments, interactions on them, it's hard to get. It's hard to get. And especially if you've got a, video out and you're not quite there yet as far as having subscribers, for whatever reason, people feel uncomfortable leaving the first comment. But so if somebody comes in and they don't see anybody's commented, a lot of times they won't comment. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there, because in order to get people to interact, obviously the content has to be such that it warrants the interaction, but also, people have to see that people are interacting to be encouraged to interact as well themselves. But I think that all comes with time as well. After a while, and I've seen, because I watch a lot of new YouTubers, just because I'm always interested in, what people are doing on YouTube. I could see, where they start off and they're just struggling, and then all of a sudden something takes off and they shoot to the moon, and then all of a sudden they've got a great thing going. A lot of the channels that I'm watching, they're just basic, which is encouraging. There's not a great studio setup. The lighting isn't perfect. The sound isn't perfect, but they're making a dent. They're attracting an audience because they have a certain personality or a certain perspective that people find interesting and will tune in and watch. And I think that is the secret sauce, if there is a secret sauce on YouTube. How many subs you got? Well, on this channel, I've got 1,480 currently. The last I checked, anyway, 1,480 on this channel, which isn't a lot. And on the 2 other channels, which are new channels. I just started them recently. I mean, just the Springboard I started probably almost 2 years ago, but I kind of didn't really take it very seriously in the beginning. And it was a lot of time making the videos, and so I was, do I really want to do this? And but that one has 36 subscribers currently. And then Synthetic Echoes, which is a AI music related channel, which is based off my original music that is turned into AI music. That one has 17, I think, the last I checked. Yeah, I wish I had 1,000, at least on all my channels, and at least, monetize one of them, maybe, maybe it makes the time more, reasoned anyway. I don't know. It's all a work in progress. This channel, like I said, I never intended to monetize it. It was always just for fun channel. But if they want to give me some money, I am not going to turn them down. Trust me. I would never turn down money. So pay me all you want. Bring on the sponsors. I'll advertise their stuff. I gotta like the product, but I'll never turn money down. Even on TikTok, I don't do it for the money, but it never ceases to amaze me how many people will send gifts. It never ceases to amaze me that people will do that. Yeah, because on their end, they're spending money. I mean, some of them get, like if I get gifts and I give somebody else gifts on TikTok, most of those are coming from gifts I've gotten from somebody else. But a lot of people are buying the coins to give to the creators, which is interesting to me. Yeah, it does take time, trust. It does take time. I mean, 36 in a couple of years. Granted, I wasn't taking that channel as seriously because, like I said before, a lot of time was going into making a video. You spend 15 hours, from the time that you script it out, shoot it, edit it, get it uploaded, fill in all the details, and then you get like 5 views, and you're just like, what the hell's the point? So, but you keep at it, and the more you do it, yeah. But again, I mean, on my end, none of the YouTube channels that I've started so far had actual serious intent behind them. That's changing for me. Where, say, the Springboard in particular, I'm trying to get that one moved in a particular direction. But so, I mean, if somebody is well-intended and they're, putting in the effort, they're going to have more success, and they're going to have faster success than someone like me, who's just, I guess, testing the waters and playing with things. So, and even with the Springboard, it's becoming more niche down as I decide what direction I actually want to take it. So it's all a work in progress. It all takes time, but I'm a patient man. So I'm not opposed to having to do the work to make it work. I did make it a goal for 2026 to get the Springboard monetized. I don't know if I'll accomplish that goal, but I only set that as a goal, and there is an objective going back to that, but I only set that because I'm curious. If I do these things, will I be able to do that? I'm curious if it works. And then maybe if I find it works, then I can become a YouTube guru, and I can, have hundreds of thousands of followers and make all kinds of money telling everybody else how to do it, right? No, that's not my intent. I think a lot of the gurus are gurus in name only. They get a lot of views and a lot of subs, and I watch them too. Some of them do offer good advice. Don't take me the wrong way, but a lot of it is common sense things. Make good content. Yeah, no joke. Yeah, exactly. I mean, even not being a religious guy, if you have faith in anything, have faith in yourself. Have faith in yourself. Whatever guides you along that way, hey, but have faith in yourself that you can do whatever it is you set out to do. I mean, there are limits to everything. I'm never going to be, 6'7" and be able to, drop a basketball into a hoop, in front of millions of people. But there are things that I can do. So, know your limitations, have reasonable expectations and realistic expectations, and have faith that you can accomplish what it is you want to accomplish in life, and you will go far. That's my wisdom for the day. I try to provide wisdom whenever I can, even if I'm not a particularly wise man. Although I've been told that I'm wise beyond my years. I don't know. I was told that back in my 20s even. But I also was told back in my 20s I looked like I was in my 40s. So take that for what it's worth. Now I'm in my 50s. They say, well, geez, you look like you're 70. Well, I was given the genes I was given. I can only be who I am and what I am, and I can be no other. Well, I have to say, this one was a fun one. And I only know that because my timer is telling me that I've been on for over an hour, and these have generally gone for 20 minutes. The past 4, this is number 5. So that's encouraging to me that slowly but surely. Now, I haven't had any repeat visitors from the other ones so far, but it's encouraging to me that at least maybe somebody has interest in the live open forums, and it'll be a good and fun thing going forward as an audience slowly builds, as it did on TikTok. So with that being said, I'm gonna sign off. I appreciate you popping in here, Truth. Hopefully I see, or not Truth, Trust. Hopefully I see you back around again. Mimi, thank you for showing up. And whoever else popped in. If you're watching this on the video on demand, pop in. Let's have some fun. I'd love to see you around. We can have some great conversations, share some great wisdoms, and hopefully learn something from each other, or just to have fun. So thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you.